What up, what up? We are back. Welcome to Two Dudes and a Mexican. I'm your host, Peter Soprano. Oh, my fault.
Hold on.
I'm doing too many shows.
It's all good.
Welcome to Pete's Corner. Pete's Corner.
There you go.
I'm your host, Peter Soprano, aka the Sports God. To my right, my main man, D Money, Drizzy Dre.
What's going on, people?
And once again, Pete's Corner is here to make you some money. It's because, you know what? It's all about the Benjamins, and that's what the show is all about. Hey. So, we had a good week last week, that to say the least. We went 9-3 between our picks. You guys listen, it's all about the money, and you guys should have made a lot of money off of us last week. We told you we was gonna make up for that early start. You can't judge these teams off the early start.
I mean, look, we said it. Look, no more Periscope. We told you guys to subscribe.
And you guys are watching right now. So
I mean, look, we made a statement. Look, we were giving away free money at this point. I don't know what else we could do.
I'm not exactly sure where the red button is on the YouTube, but it should be somewhere below me. Just go and tap it. Because make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Because you watching, you must just tap the button to make sure you subscribe.
And we're just approaching week 3. And, you know, week 3, week 4, whatever you're looking at, college, NFL. But, again, early in the season, we're just getting started. I mean, like I said, Pete usually gets hot in October. But, shit, he's been hot for the past 2 weeks now. I mean, again, we're just getting started.
So, you went 4-2 with your picks that we made last Wednesday. I went 5-1. I hit 8 of the last 9, so I'm rolling right now.
It's crazy.
So, with that said... And not only that, not only did you go 4-2, you hit both of your upset picks too. So if you bet his picks, that means you got plus money on 2 picks.
Right.
I hit my 2 upset picks. You got plus money on those 2 picks. You should have made out like a bandit this week.
And even if you guys didn't take a money line, even if you took the points, that would have looked great. That's again easy win.
But now with that said, we got to move on. Listen, we can never stop. We got to keep going. So we will.
You guys should be living the glamorous right now.
They'll live it by the end of the season. By the end of the season, they'll be living it.
Oh, God.
But listen, we're
going to get you guys ready for the holidays coming up. Put a lot of money in your pockets. Watch.
Listen, we got 3 picks for you each from college football. I don't know if you have snuck an NFL, but if not, we got 6 picks from college football. And we want to start off with our lock pick, which you've been hot with. You've been doing good. You've hit 2 of your last 3, your last 4.
Right.
So let's see your top pick for the week.
There you go, people. So like he just said, I've been hot with my top picks. And again, if you see a trend, go for it. Always go for it.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I'm going to start you guys off with a nice bankroll this week. I want you guys to make a lot of money. So I'm going to have a couple of games Thursday, Friday, going up through the whole weekend. My lock of the week, which I'm very confident of, and hopefully you could back me up because I'm gonna go with your team, Tennessee Titans -1.5 at Jacksonville Jaguars. I can't believe that line is what it is. I listen. I know it's a division game, and I told Pete this. Look, this is what I told him. The Tennessee Colts game to me was a little bit more iffy because to me right now the Colts were more structured. Right now, this Jacksonville team is imploding. I'm not with the whole Minshew fucking experiment. At this point, it went out the window during that Houston game. They couldn't move the ball in the air. And in my opinion, I feel like Tennessee has a slight better defense than Houston. In my opinion, again, I mean, I'll let you talk about that because that's your team. But in my opinion, I feel like Tennessee, has the better defense. And again, the Jacksonville is imploding right now. Tennessee, they're a great team. Despite that loss against Colts, they played really well. I'm pretty confident. And again, when I saw the line -1 on Monday, I was like, hopefully it doesn't bump up by the time we did Pete's Corner because to me that was a steal. The fact that it's 1.5, guys, this is a lock of the week. In my opinion, you guys want to start off the weekend right. Take Tennessee all day -1.5. Don't fall. Listen, Jacksonville has a good defense. But by the third quarter, I see Derrick Henry running all over them. Honestly, to me, it's pretty easy in my opinion. Well, and again, I mean, if you have any thoughts as your team, if you want to add anything onto it.
My quick opinion on that is, if they weren't my team, I would have bet on them. I try as hard as I can not to bet on my own team. Just try. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
For bettors not to do it. That's a good thing for bettors not to do. Is try not to bet on
your own team. If you ain't gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
So
I'm gonna pick your team.
So, but if it wasn't my team, it's a game that Tennessee has to win, especially after the embarrassing loss last week. It was a game that they should have won multiple times. They had a chance to win that game. And there's a 1-point spread, so it's pretty much you win and you win.
It's a pick 'em at this point.
Pretty much.
It's
Anytime you got a 1-point spread, it's a pick 'em. So
for the most part,
they win, you're gonna win money. So it's one of those games that they've owned Jacksonville over the past couple years. They've beaten them, I think it's like 6 of the last 7 times.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's in Jacksonville or in Tennessee. They've dominated them. So this is the time. With the backup quarterback in there, you would expect that they should do the same thing. So, like I said, if it wasn't my team, I would bet that. But since it is my team, I left it alone. So, listen, you got somebody who hit 3 out of their last 4 locks. So they're calling it a lock. My first pick of the week is going to be from college football: Utah -3.5 against USC. Listen, USC has been up and down this year. They lost their quarterback, then the backup quarterback came in, had a good game, then he went back down last week. They've been very up and down. Utah has been pretty consistent. They're the best team in the Pac-12. They're ranked 10th in the nation. They're rolling right now. They're ready to go, and they're going to go into USC to prove that they're a legit top 10 team. And I think they're going in there with the mentality and the motivation that, listen, even though we're a top 10 team, nobody even thinks about us.
Right.
Like, first of all, the Pac-12 gets forgotten anyway. So they play their games late. People don't see them, so a lot of people don't care about the Pac-12. They're a good team. They're a good, solid team. They're good, well coached, and I think they're going to go in there to try to make a statement in USC. And I think actually the spread should be more. I think the only reason that it's 3.5 is because they're looking at the USC game from the previous week where they had the good game against Stanford West and quit.
Right.
And Utah isn't going to play like that. No. So Utah's a really good, solid team.
This is a different. This is a different machine right here.
It's completely different. So I think that's going to be pretty much a gimme for them. I think they're going in there as a top 10 team to try to make a statement. You have to do that on the big stage in California and USC. I think they're going to do that. So that's my top pick. What's your second pick of the week?
Hey, guys, look, I told you. I want you guys to build a nice bankroll. I got Thursday game for you, and I got a Friday game for you. And my second best pick it's Pete's best pick as well. Again, you can't make this shit up, people. I got Utah
We don't discuss picks before.
Yeah, we never discussed this either, guys. Believe me. I got you. Listen, I got Utah -3.5 as well. Again, he pretty much nailed it. Utah's a way better team. Don't be fooled how how USC's been like how they dominated Stanford that game. And again, you know what? By the way, my upset pick of the week, BYU. They look good on defense. They turned the ball over for USC a couple of times, 3 picks, I believe.
Better than BYU.
Yeah, and Utah's defense is way better than BYU. So I could only imagine what they're going to do. Again, like he said, -3.5. Again, to me, that's a gift. So I mean, I don't know what the odds maker be doing. I guess he be trying to trick people, but to me, that's a gift. I would take that all day. To me, that spread should have been more like a -6 or whatever. But regardless of that, I still think that Utah overall is a better team on both sides of the ball, better coaching, and just more organized at this point. I feel like USC at this point,
they're a veteran team too.
Exactly.
You like veteran teams in college. You want the teams that have a lot of juniors and seniors.
And look, guys, you know what? I was going back and forth between making Utah my best pick or Tennessee, but to be honest with you, I feel really good about both, which is why I'm very excited about this weekend. That's my second best pick of the week.
My second best pick is I'm going back to a team that last week on Two Dudes and a Mexican I called the best team in the nation playing right now, LSU. LSU is running through teams right now. They're putting up 50-point games. They're blowing teams out 40-10 and all. They're just completely dominating teams right now. And now they're gonna have to go in Vandy, and Vandy is not a good team at all. Vandy is a team where I've been watching Vandy for years because I'm a Titans fan. So a lot of people from Tennessee tell me about how Vandy plays and everything like that. They're a bad team. They're a real bad team. Now I'll say this about Vandy. If you're going to try to be tricky and try to bet this like first half, that's the only way you can bet Vandy. Because Vandy stays in the game for the first half. But they just don't have the talent. They don't have the stamina. They're not as good. And the depth of the teams wears them down the second half. So if you are going to bet Vandy, I still win it. But if you are going to try to take a chance with Vandy, just do it for the first half. But for the whole game, I got to go LSU because I think by the second half, they're going to do what they did to every team this year and just roll people. They're going to win that game. They're going to win that game by over 30.
And they're hot. And when in college, when the team gets hot, it's hard to slow that momentum down. And I don't see them slowing down LSU.
They're playing like the best team in the nation. I said that last week. Insane. I mean, everybody's going to say Clemson or Alabama because they're overall the best teams. But if you want to talk about who's playing the best right now, LSU is by far playing the best college football in the nation right now.
I agree. So
now with those picks out of the way, let's go to the upset pick for the week.
Let's go with the upset. I'm going to go with Michigan 2-0 at Wisconsin.
Ooh.
The last time these teams met, The Wolverines beat them 38 to 13. Again, Wisconsin struggled to move the ball in the air, and the defense did a good job of holding down Jonathan Taylor. To me, I think it's going to be a really close game. I'm not going to say it's a blowout and on either side of the ball, either side of the team or whatever. But I do think that Michigan pulls this off. It's going to be a very close, tight game, defensive game, very low scoring in my opinion. But I feel really comfortable with Michigan, not just only covering that plus 3.5, which again, if you guys feel comfortable doing that, I don't blame you, because even if they lose by a field goal, that half a point's going to, push you over. But I think they just went flat out. So I'm going with the Wolverines in this one.
So for my upset pick, and I want to actually comment on that one first. I do think it's a good pick. I hope it's the right pick. But the one thing that holds me back from picking Michigan, and my friend Vic over there in the corner can co-sign this, is what does Jim Harbaugh do in big games?
He fucking chokes.
Every time that Jim Harbaugh has to play a team that's near a top 10 or a top 15 team, he finds a way to choke. Even if he should win, Michigan should win that game. Like, I completely agree. Michigan should win that game. I don't care if it's in Wisconsin. That's a divisional game. That's a conference game. So they don't care about going on the road. They should win that game.
Right.
The only thing I worry about is he sucks every single time he has to go. He lost to Ohio State all the time. He loses to Wisconsin. They lose big games every time they need to win the game. So that's the only thing that holds me back with that. But like I said, Michigan should win that game.
Yeah, they should win.
So I hope that goes through. My upset pick, I had to dig deep. I had to go through a couple teams. There was two games that I really liked the upset. I pushed one to the side, but I really like San Diego State versus Utah State this week. And I know Dre picked Utah State a couple weeks ago, so he likes them, but they disappointed him that week.
Yeah, they did.
I think San Diego State is ready to try to prove that they're actually legit in their conference.
I agree with you, actually.
Utah State, like you said, just have disappointed so far this year.
What was the spread, +4 in that one?
And that one, it was +4.
Okay.
It was +4. And it was fluctuating between 3.5 and 4.
Right.
But San Diego State is at home. I think they're the type of team that they're a balanced team. That's the thing. If they can do their normal balance where they're good on rushing, good on passing, they're going to win that game. As long as they don't try to get one way and just throw the ball all the time or go one way, and they can't be one-dimensional. They have to do both. They have to run the ball. They have to pass the ball. And they're 3-0 right now. They have a lot of confidence. And they're beating teams that people didn't expect them to beat.
Right.
Now they have another challenge. It's at home. This is the first time that they're 3-0 with a big crowd around them. They might as well have Marshall Faulk come back there because he went to San Diego State, and they need to make that a big game. Yeah. They need to prove that. Listen, you know what? Because how are you the underdog? The other team is 2-1. They've been struggling in their games.
Right. And
you look at your team. You're 3-0. You've been playing well against all these other teams, and now you're at home and you're still underdog. Like, you're getting no respect.
Right.
So I think that's one of those games that is going to prove to people San Diego for real. And I don't mean national championship or anything, obviously, but I'm talking about for your division. Like, everybody is in a Power 5 conference where you're a Big 10, Big 12. You have to look at the small conferences too, and those are the things where you actually get upsets. And because people can't really bet on that. They don't look at these small teams. So you look at a team like San Diego State. I think that's a team that's going to come out of nowhere. Even though they're 3-0, nobody knows about them. I think they're going to find a way to beat Utah State.
You know what though, and I think so too. That's another pick I was flirting with, to be honest.
And just to throw it in there, the other team I did look at for an upset was Kansas. Les Miles is a really good coach. The only thing that held me back from that is he's just starting out in Kansas. He doesn't have all his players yet. When he does, Kansas is going to be a much better defense than all those other teams in the Big 12.
So that's another game. Obviously that's not his pick, though. But if that was his other option, guys, I would definitely look into that. So
now that we finished that part, let's move on to fantasy. We got a couple questions first from Twitter that we want to get to. So let's get to that. And let's start off with my boy Lewis, because he said the same question that you kind of had, but we are in the same fantasy league, so he doesn't want to.
It doesn't make sense for me to ask him the questions for fantasy because he's not going to give it to me, and I wouldn't want him to give it to me.
I mean, but listen, I'm kind of contractually mandated to give you the real answer. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So if he asks me a question, I gotta give you the right answer. So
I was going to ask you last week though, but I think this is the perfect week because he had the same question.
So he asks, who would you drop, Damian Lewis or Shady McCoy? First of all, if you have a chance, I would not drop either one of them because I think both of them can still be solid. Both of them can still put up 10 points per game, and if one of them goes down, and you don't know which one is going to go down. But if one of them goes down, both of them went down last week. The other one's going to be a huge pickup.
Right.
So it's almost like you don't want to make the wrong decision there. So if you can, I would keep both of them. If I had to say drop one of them, I would probably say Shady McCoy.
Yeah,
just because he's the older player, he's more likely to get hurt. Damian Williams was on that team last year. He's more familiar with the playbook and everything. So if they had to drop one, I would say Shady McCoy. But to me, you keep both of them because not only can they both be productive, and not only can if one gets hurt, the other one will be super productive. But they're also two backs that. You know what? They just play off of each other. They're those type of backs. You don't want to. And you always want to have your backup. You know,
right.
If you have a start big guy, you don't want to have the backup be on free agent. Like you said, Jalen Samuels earlier.
Right.
You know, Connor got hurt. You have Samuels. If
Connor exactly.
Play,
He's banged up.
So the last Twitter question I want to get is my boy Koki.
Is Jeopardy final question?
That's what it is, man. You got to decide on these things. Big money's on the line.
Oh yeah.
So my boy Koki on Twitter said, D.D. Westbrook done as a flex play with Foles out there for the season.
That's a good.
I think you definitely got I would drop him, to be honest with you.
Really, D.D. Westbrook?
Yes, and I know you like him. I know Dave likes him, but D.D. Westbrook's not my guy. I would drop him because DJ Chalk is the guy for them right now. Both games he's had 100 yards and a touchdown, and he seems to be Minshew's favorite target, so that's why I would go with.
Right.
So now let's go through real quick the ads that you guys should pick up this week. It's all about the quarterbacks. You know that. You know Eli Manning was benched. Crazy. Daniel Jones is up. I personally, if you're in a 2 QB league, you have to pick him up. So you need every starter you get.
So let me ask you a question real quick.
Rudolph on the block.
Before you
we'll get to Mason.
Hill and Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Now, what would you do in that scenario? Because now I'm reading reports that that Sean Payne is going to probably use both of them now.
Well, he was using Hill before, and I could go on a long rant about this, so I'm not going to. But all I know is Taysom Hill takes snaps away from Drew Brees. That makes 0 sense to me. So if he's going to take snaps away from Drew Brees, he's obviously going to take snaps away from Teddy Bridgewater. So it makes no sense to me, and I'm holding myself back from cursing about it because it annoys the hell out of me. But that's what happens. But speaking of Teddy Bridgewater, I do think, once again, like you said, if you're in a 2 QB league, you got to pick him up. I do think he'll be solid and he'll get better as he progresses on. He's going to be there for 6 weeks, and he's an explosive offense with Peyton, so he's going to be able to put up numbers. For my boy Vic, Mason Rudolph, I'll sell him a little bit for you. He's going to be the starter for the rest of the year for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has some good, solid weapons there, and he's looked good even in this short time playing last week. So I think he's definitely, out of all the QBs this week, to me, he has the second highest upside of all the people that I named on my list. Luke Falk, don't even look at him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jets fans. Don't pick up Luke Falk. I mean, even if you're in a 2 QB league, it may be better without him.
Oh my God.
It may be better going without a second QB than picking up Luke Falk because he may get you negative points. That's how bad
crazy.
It is. Even though he played solid last week, and I'll give him that, but it's just too much of a risk. I've seen a lot of second QBs off the bench just end up giving you negative points, and it can end up hurting you. But the quarterback that I want to kind of zoom in on real quick is Jameis Winston.
Okay.
This is the guy that you pick up for this week. He had a good week last week. We know he can throw for a lot of yards. He has numerous weapons with Mike Evans and Godwin and Braid and O.J. Howard and all. And he has all that, and he's going against the New York Giants defense this week.
Defense.
And we know they gave up a bunch of yards to Josh Allen. We know they gave up a bunch of yards to Dak Prescott. So Jameis Winston is somebody that you definitely want to pick up this week if he's on the free agent list. Moving on to the running backs real quick. I've been against him, but I have to give in. Carlos Hyde is somebody that you need to pick up right now. He's averaging pretty much around 80 yards per game. So you got to get Carlos Hyde off the free agent list if he's still out there. I'm still not a fan of him, but listen, I got to be honest with you. He's producing enough that you got to pick him up. Raheem Mostert, running back from San Fran, he's doing a really good job right now. He came and got the 39-yard touchdown catch last week. And San Francisco said they're going to be playing the 3 backs. So he's going to be part of that trio, and he's getting a good part of that. So he's somebody that you also want to take a look at. The last running back I want to talk about is somebody that may help you for the end of the year, Rashawn Penny from Seattle.
Yeah.
Chris Carson fumbled week 1. Chris Carson fumbled twice in week 2. You can't have 3 fumbles in 2 weeks and keep starting. Like, Rashawn Penny, that's the reason why he got like 10 carries last week, is because Chris Carson keeps fumbling. And if you're a running back, that's pretty much the worst thing you can do. So I would say take up Rashawn Penny. maybe keep him on your bench right now. And if Chris Carson keeps fumbling, he's going to be in there. He's an explosive back. He was their first round pick 2 years ago, and I really like Rashawn Penny. So he is a real explosive back for you to pick up. Moving on to the wide receivers, I want to let you start because you had a question about one of the wide receivers this week.
With James Washington?
Yeah.
There you go. So, in my opinion, I think he's going to be a great pickup. Again, you know, the wide receiver number 2 was Dante Moncrief, but with that crucial interception because of the result that he can't fucking catch. You know,
Sounds like it's personal.
Damn.
it is personal, but you know what? Now with Mason Rudolph stepping in as a starting QB, Mason Rudolph, Oklahoma State University with James Washington. You know, Mason Rudolph, in the NCAA, he led the passing yards in like 4,900 something yards, and 1,500 of those yards were James Washington. When Mason Rudolph came in for those 2 quarters, everybody, yeah, man, it's frustrating.
Yeah, he watched Moncrief gone.
Fuck him, man. He's gone. But anyways, listen. I think that James Washington is going to be Mason Rudolph's favorite target. Everybody started getting touches now.
Yeah, you gonna leave Juju like that?
I mean, Juju, but you know what though? But that's a compliment though, because Juju's the best wide receiver on that team, so he's going to be getting double coverage, and you know, again, James Washington is going to be open.
Juju getting that Antonio Brown treatment out there with double teams.
I mean, he has to, because you know what? Because he's proved that that he could make the big plays. James Washington hasn't proved that yet, but I believe with Mason Rudolph now with the play action, something that Big Ben didn't like to do. I feel like Mason Rudolph is going to be slinging it, and he's going to be going towards his favorite target.
All right, we'll maybe get more of that explanation on Two Dudes and a Mexican, but a betting show and a fantasy show, just a couple more people I want to add in there real quick. I mentioned earlier DJ Chalk from the Jacksonville Jaguars, 2 straight games with 100 yards and a touchdown. Ooh. He's somebody that is not really picked up in too many leagues, but that's somebody you should definitely take a look at. DK Metcalf, like I said, I'm not personally big on him, but he's been producing the last 2 weeks. He's around that 200 yards and 2 touchdown mark also. This is the week to pick him up because he should have another good week this week. Then his schedule turns really hard. So you pick him up this week. He has a good game. You start trying to sell him this week. That's what you should do with DK Metcalf. And the last person I have for the wide receivers is J.J. Arcega-Whiteside from the Philadelphia Eagles. He played 93% of the snaps last week after Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey got hurt. So even though nobody else is talking about him, they like him. He's a big wide receiver at 6'2", 6'3", 220 pounds. And he's a guy that was a second-round pick, so they think highly of him. So J.J. Arcega-Whiteside is somebody that definitely take a look at that nobody's really talking about right now. Just quickly, the tight ends, Jordan Reed, will he ever get on the field? He's so talented. Redskins, he plays like a wide receiver, but he just can't get on the field. That's his biggest issue. And Trey Burton. I'll tell you, Trey Burton from the Chicago Bears. I'll tell you this. The whole tight end situation sucks in the league. It really does. You really have like 8 tight ends to have, and that's it. If you don't have one of those 8 tight ends, you're just screwing around.
That's
like,
bad, yeah.
There's nobody else. Like, even at the end of those 8 is like Greg Olsen, Delanie Walker, stuff like that. People who are okay, but they're going to be top 3. You don't really have it anymore. It's not the same. So wide receivers, tight ends is pretty much bare. And the last thing I want to get to before we end the show is some defenses. I told you to pick up New England last week, and you saw what they did. They put up like 30-plus points last week.
And that shit killed me in our matchup, too. I mean...
Yeah, I beat the hell out of them, man.
That shit was crazy, man.
I've been like 50.
Yeah, I'm eating some crow. I've been eating some crow this whole week, though, but yeah, that New England defense, oh my God.
I told you, run with them. Run with them.
Who they playing?
Miami.
Yeah,
don't mean shit to
the college team. But that's what it's about. In fantasy, it don't matter. In fantasy, it's about putting up those points.
I mean, Pittsburgh only put up 3 against them in the first week, so they're playing pretty good in my opinion. And they held the Rams to the 3. Again, I mean, the point is that the trend is New England's they're killing it in defense right now.
Yeah, so if you still have them, I say to keep them this week when they play against the Jets. But if you don't have them, then some other defenses to take a look at. Miami, they're playing against Cowboys. Miami is playing against Cowboys, so you got to have the Cowboys defense. And I said pick on Miami as much as you can.
What about Green Bay? What about Green Bay's defense now? With
a lot of people are talking about Green Bay's defense versus Denver this week. I don't like it.
No?
And everybody is high on it.
Okay, they're playing against Denver.
They're going against Denver, and everybody has said pick up Green Bay's defense. I don't like it. I think Denver can put up points. They still have Emmanuel Sanders. They still can run the ball with Lindsey. Flacco's not a horrible quarterback. I don't like it, but everybody's saying pick up Denver.
Right.
Pick up Green Bay's defense. So if you want to listen to everybody else, then fine. You can
That
pick
wouldn't
up
be
Green
my
Bay.
first.
Listen to me, no.
No,
I'm not
that
putting
wouldn't be
them.
my first choice. But like Pete said, you got the Cowboys.
If the Cowboys are out there,
at
get
home
'em.
against Miami, and then you got again New England that's been proven game after game after game that they're holding teams to under 10 points. That's insane. Again,
And the team that he mentioned earlier, the Tennessee Titans, they already have a good defense. They're going against Jacksonville, backup quarterback. You can run with it.
Oh my God.
And the last one is Buffalo Bills. They're going against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Sleeper right there.
Buffalo Bills have got a good defense for years, and nobody really pays attention to them. So Buffalo Bills are a team to really look at in fantasy if you need the streaming defense. So with that said, we will catch you again on Sunday. Go hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I don't know where that below my finger, but just go and hit the
just do it,
subscribe
guys.
button.
Listen, we're not doing no more
Subscribe.
Periscope. Subscribe to the
No
YouTube
more Periscope.
channel.
It's all on here. It's all YouTube from now on. So, so from now on, you're watching us on here, and we're gonna make you some money. Thank you from Pete's Corner. We will catch you in a couple minutes with Two Dudes and a Mexican.
Has got you going crazy.